Credit card debt surging and more Americans are falling behind on payments, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York Consumer Credit Panel.
Yeah, Sara Rathner, credit card expert at NerdWallet, joins us with practical advice on the real cost of carrying balances and how to tackle debt. Good morning, Sara. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, a lot of us, when we have a credit card, we're paying a high interest rate. What is a realistic way to look at it and the costs of interest that can maybe help us make different choices at this point?
You want to think about interest as what you're paying to carry that debt. That's the price you're paying. So let's say you have a $5,000 balance and your credit card charges a 22% interest rate. That means you're paying around $1,100 in interest a year. And if you carry that balance for 5 years, the amount that you're paying on interest is going to exceed the original $5,000 balance.
Okay, so that's very interesting when you put it that way, right? But annual credit card fees, when you look at them, they're rising. So signing up for some of these credit cards, they give you the points, but there is this annual cost to go along with it. Do the benefits outweigh that cost?
They can, but that depends on your situation. If you're going to use a lot of the benefits that the card offers, it can be pretty simple to more than offset the annual fee. But if you're not going to use those benefits or you find the card too complicated to use, you're less likely to extract its full value. But there are lots of great cards out there at a variety of annual fee price points, including $0 annual fees.
And we're also putting up on the screen that there are benefits as well where you can get insurance on some of the goods that you've bought so that you can get something back if it's lost or if it's stolen. Let's talk about interest rates right now, because there's been a lot with what the Federal Reserve is doing in interest rates and how that's impacting mortgages. How are we seeing it impact credit cards?
We see credit card interest rates fluctuate whenever the Federal Reserve raises or lowers rates. And that's because credit card interest rates are variable. They are tied to that rate. And so within a few weeks of a Fed decision, we see credit card interest rates change similarly. And so we have seen rates begin to come down a little bit. But it's important to remember that credit card debt is always expensive, no matter what the Federal Reserve has decided to do. It is one of the highest forms of borrowing in terms of cost. And so if you have credit card debt, or if you're facing a large expense in the coming up, it's really essential to figure out ways to lower the cost of the interest you're going to pay on that credit card debt. There are some ways you could do that, either with a balance transfer credit card that offers a 0% interest rate promotion, or with a personal loan if you can qualify for a loan with an interest rate that's lower than the credit card you're already carrying.
Okay. So the whole thing is how you get there in the first place. It all has to do with what you're swiping or tapping to buy, right? So what should you get out of the habit of paying with your credit card?
I actually use my credit card for most purchases, except when a merchant charges a fee to do so, because credit cards offer really robust consumer protections. If you make a purchase and it's not what you wanted, or if it gets lost or stolen or damaged in shipping and the merchant won't work with you, your credit card company can help make you whole. And there are also really robust protections if there are fraudulent charges on your account. That being said, many people like to use their debit cards or cash. It helps with their budgeting. They want to avoid debt. If you're going to do that, just get in the habit of checking your transactions on your bank account frequently, even daily. Just get in the habit of doing that, because if you notice a suspicious withdrawal or charge to your debit card, you want to report that as soon as possible to your bank.
Yeah, because I know you have fewer protections when it comes to, thieves being able to get in there and steal money from you. Let's talk about negotiation. Can you negotiate your credit card debt, and when are you in the best position to do so?
You absolutely can. You do have negotiation power when it comes to credit card debt, but you want to go in prepared. If you experience some sort of life situation like medical bills or job loss, gather up the proof that you have these instances going on in your life, and go to your credit card issuer, call the number on the back of your card, and explain your situation, because they want to see that you are coming to the table. You're making this good faith effort to pay off your debt, but you're just faced with circumstances that make that difficult to do. And there are hardship programs you can enter into with your credit card company that can hopefully make those payments more sustainable for you while you're going through a difficult time.
Very interesting. You also hear about credit card debt relief from ads. The question is, who qualifies for it, right?
So debt relief can be helpful if your unsecured debt is so large that you don't think you're going to be able to pay it off in the next 5 years, or if the quantity of your unsecured debt, not including student loans, is more than double your earnings. And so those are instances where it might be worth pursuing debt relief. You can begin by contacting a nonprofit credit counseling agency and getting help to see what your options are. They can help you with things like rethinking your budget or negotiating your debts. And it can be really helpful to have somebody in your corner when you're going through this process because it can be very stressful.
Yeah, and then we all need to be really disciplined to make sure that we don't get back in that spot again once we get ourselves out. Sara Rathner from NerdWallet, thanks for sharing all the expertise and helping us navigate our credit card debt in a better way.
Thank you.